a special edition of Project Wrongway, where we go deep inside one of my viewers'
Oh gosh.
personal vehicles.
I hope you're uncomfortable.
Sorry, I will refrain.
I'm here with Branden. He is the owner of the SAR Pins Instagram page. Excellent pin scour, which is not here, but he's also the owner of a Toyota Landcruiser FJ40 with a Cummins 2.8 liter diesel swap. What year is your truck?
1978.
A 1978. We're gonna ask a couple questions of Branden to find out why he did this to a perfectly good Landcruiser and find out more about this excellent build.
That's what you meant by go deep.
Yeah, that's how we're gonna go deep.
Got it. Sounds less
It's
painful.
only figurative, or literal. Figurative. We're gonna figuratively go deep.
Weren't you an English major?
I dropped out of college. Have you noticed an increase in the size of your genitalia since the Cummins diesel swap?
My wife has asked me not to answer that question. Next.
I will answer that I've noticed an increase
So foolish.
in mine since it's been here.
You're so full of it.
When you first started talking about this build,
Yeah.
you received some feedback on the internet.
Hate mail.
Hate mail.
Death threats.
Did you actually get letters?
I got emails.
You got emails?
I did.
I know you got one from me,
Yeah.
but it was begging. It had nothing to do with the swap. Tell me, what was the feedback you initially got when you decided to take your perfectly good Landcruiser with a 2F engine
And
running
81,000 original miles.
81,000? Oh, that's so great. 81,000 original miles, and your first thought is rip this drivetrain out and put something different in there.
Yeah. Well, there's not very many of these around left, as you know. The pricing has gone through the roof. There's tons of people who are very passionate about Landcruisers. Once you've had one, this is my third. Once you've had one, you can't get them out of your system. So for sure, when I started talking about doing the Cummins swap, lots and lots of negativity, hate mail, the Purists coming out.
Yeah, I mean, I remember the thread when you put it out on Facebook, like, hey, I'm thinking about doing this. The reason I remember this, Project Nation, is because I immediately wanted to purchase this drivetrain, and I was adamant that I needed to obtain this, so I encouraged him 100% to do this swap.
Very encouraging.
But I do remember people
Appreciated the
saying,
support.
you're going to wreck this Landcruiser, you're going to destroy it. Do you feel like you've wrecked it or
No.
destroyed it?
It's 100% better.
Yeah.
100% better. Yeah. So I put 1,000 miles total on it before starting this trip. We put 700. My daughter and I put 700 miles on it, just getting down to you.
Yesterday, right?
Yesterday.
Okay.
And we're gonna do 700 miles back today, and I have no question that it's gonna do it without fail.
All right, so the 2F drivetrain,
Yep.
what are we talking about with weight? As far as how much does a 2F with the 4-speed and the regular transfer case, how much does it weigh?
It's over 900 pounds.
Okay. That's what it felt like when it fell crashing.
That's the 9. That's the 1F. That's like 800.
Yeah, the 1F felt less heavy when I tried to support it with my bare hands.
Try
So
to kill your wife.
Yeah.
the difference. Tell me about the Cummins swap. How much, as far as weight goes, are we talking about?
Yeah. So engine-wise, it's 660 pounds.
Yeah.
So definitely about 30% less weight, but quite a bit more power.
Okay. Do we know the power of the 2F?
I don't remember the power of the 2F. I want to say it was
134?
horsepower
Yeah.
and just shy of 200 pound-feet of torque.
Okay.
Somewhere in that range. Don't quote me on that, but the internet
We're
Illuminati will
literally
look it up.
quoting every
They're
second.
commenting right now as they're watching this.
Yeah.
You guys are both
Yeah.
idiots. Neither of you know what you're talking about. They're putting that in the comments
See,
right
the,
now.
the difference is that I know I'm an idiot already. You
Yes.
can't hurt me, internet. I'm stupid. Tell me about the horsepower, though, of the Cummins.
So the Cummins stock is 197 horsepower, 310 pound-feet of torque. Tor up in Everett in Washington, where I live, I think he has his over 400 pound-feet just with tuning. So people are getting, of course, he's busted an axle already.
Again, genital increasing.
Wait.
Yeah.
Isn't that? Why would it get bigger? Normally trucks are used to compensate. So wouldn't that mean that you had it?
I'm like, honey,
It's a fair question.
I'm just being.
It is a fair
I'm
question.
trying to
Why
say
did you
that I'm
stop
being
the camera
turned
for
on
that
right
one?
now.
No, it's back on. I just wanted a new clip.
Yeah, I'm.
Good.
It's because
Don't men use trucks to compensate for problems in that
obviously, apparently, baldness is one of those
area?
issues.
Okay. All
I've
right.
also owned a Ford Raptor up until
Oh.
recently.
Oh.
Yeah, so I know all about the whole compensation.
This guy.
It's like your dream husband.
I'm spoken for.
Hashtag would smash. All right, let's stay on track. What did you do about your transmission? Did you stick with the 4-speed?
No.
you didn't.
You
Sorry.
didn't. No. So, as you know, I brought you the 2F, the transmission, transfer case, everything all intact. So on my FJ, we went with the H55F.
Okay.
We wanted the 5-speed to take advantage of the extra power and get that overdrive, which was really nice on the way down. We were doing 75, 80 miles an hour without problem. The split transfer case out of the later 62 series.
Did you get that built at all, or was that did you just use
just rebuilt? So we
just
bought one
rebuilt.
that was in really good condition, tore it all apart, all new gears, brought it all the way back up.
Man, that sounds really
Yeah,
nice.
so it's like new.
What kind of mileage did you get?
Prior in the 2F.
Yeah.
Let's between 9 and 11.
Good.
If that's what we're gonna have once
We're gonna have probably less.
Oh,
than
good.
Yeah.
Sounds
What?
like a good investment.
You have the soft top, so you'll get at least 9.5.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. That half makes a difference.
We'll get smiles per mile. What are you getting now?
Well, we haven't tuned it yet. So you can do an EGR delete. You can do some tuning with the mass airflow sensor. So there's stuff you can do to optimize. We haven't done any of that yet. We're working on breaking in the engine first. So after we get through the first 2,500 to 5,000 miles, we'll start doing some of that tuning. But right out of the gate, we got about 22 on the way down here. Got 23 on a previous trip. So 22, 23. We should be able to get that up to about 28 from everything I've read. Yeah, my goal for this is to be a legacy, actually. So my kids are 20, 22, 24.
Okay.
So I'm kind of at that point now where I expect to start hearing in the next few years that grandkids are on the way. So I built this. This is going to be that first grandchild that I get the whiff that they've got, gasoline in their veins, or like they're authentic.
Yeah.
This will be their 16th birthday present.
So
I'm going to drive it for now. I'm going to make sure it's all broken.
boy.
And all the
So I'm doing the math
Kinks are tuned
as
out.
far as reincarnation goes.
I don't think you can pull
I
that
had
off.
an unfortunate accident,
That's
and
right.
I'm reborn in this bloodline. When you're talking about your build, you reference we. Have you had
Yes.
some? Have you had some?
Yes, absolutely. So, couple of key people. Number one, Level 10 Industries in Monroe. Donovan's a good friend of mine. He's worked on a bunch of my vehicles over the years. We've done a bunch of projects together, mostly electronic. Along the way, I learned he had fabrication skills. He built his own aluminum adventure trailer, and he's just done some amazing stuff. And I'm like,
I've
wait,
seen some of the accents inside
it's
your
incredible.
Landcruiser.
He's an artist.
The subtle touches that Level 10 has been here.
Yeah,
Awesome stuff.
So he did the majority of the fabrication work for inside the engine bay, and he's next level. Like, his attention to detail is phenomenal.
Oh man, just the shroud for the fan. I mean,
all that stuff.
Yeah, it's an incredible.
And the best part was, I'd come up with ideas. I'd send him tons and tons of pictures and just say, hey, here's what I'm thinking, something like this, something like that. And he would just walk back into the back of his shop, cut something out on the plasma cutter, do a little bending to it, and it's like this. I'm like, yes.
So like
it's just-
Iron Man.
His
Kind of
ability,
like Iron
his
Man.
ability to take what's in my head or his head and get it down onto metal is phenomenal.
I've seen other 2.8 liter swaps. What's different about yours? What
Well,
sets it apart, I guess, is what I'm saying.
yeah, I think so. There's a couple things. Number one is everything was hand fabricated, so there are quite a few kits now. So like, if you wanted to put a 2.8 in yours at some point, you can actually buy a whole kit. There's companies that have a whole pre-made. Sorry, Rachel, it wouldn't fit in yours, unfortunately. But
Thank
any other Landcruiser,
goodness.
you can actually buy a pre-made kit. They have all the parts already made. It's just a drop-in. Donovan really wanted, as we were going through the swap kind of last September, and when we started, he really wanted to do some custom touches and make it look as if Toyota had built it today and they used this engine, that it looked OEM, that it could have been made that way from the factory, and it definitely has that look. A lot of interior changes, a lot of stuff in the interior is different than what most people have done.
Are there some subtle are there some unique features that you've? I mean, there's some stuff you pointed out to me or you showed me. Just a couple things that you have.
Well, I updated the engine data play. That's sort of
Yeah,
next level.
that's where I was
nerdery.
hinting at that. I'm
next level of nerdery. Yeah, I caught the nudge.
I
wink, wink,
don't know
so.
who else is gonna geek out on that, but that is just like.
So the data plate normally has all the information for the 2F and the stock interior color, transmission, all that stuff. And so there's a guy on I Hate Mud that you can go to that remakes those and will put your current information. Or I went to him and said, hey, can you redo it with the Cummins details? And he's like, well, I haven't done that. So he kind of went offline and came back. I was traveling. I think I was overseas at the time. And he's like, yeah, I'll make that work. And so I gave him all the specs for the 2.8 and the H55F transmission. I even the change in the interior color, the brown leather. So we found all the codes for all that stuff. And so the data plate is actually accurate to the vehicle today. So
That's
like
fantastic.
next level nerdery.
Yeah, that's
nerdery.
That's
hard to say.
nerdery. When I'm building my Landcruiser,
Yes.
thinking about engines,
Yes.
I was immediately instructed to put an LS or a 350.
Same thing. Yeah.
So yeah, a 350 in there or anything but the stock 2F engine, which it's not even stock, but anything but that Toyota Inline 6. I've heard of the 22RE swap. I've heard, all kinds of different Ford and Chevy engines. Is there a reason you stuck with that little Cummins? And why you didn't go with something else? Or maybe even a Toyota diesel?
Yeah, I looked at the Toyota diesels. They're expensive. They're really hard to come by. They're hard to service. Nice thing about the Cummins 2.8 and just the Cummins engines in general is there's a lot of enthusiast groups. There's a lot of parts availability. They made this very, very easy. It shows up in a crate.
They built it for
you want to talk about excitement?
Swaps.
Oh, it's unbelievable. And so you open the crate and everything you need is inside. So the computer and all the adapters and everything is like very, very, very simple. And just from an ease of install, but then the gas mileage. It's like being able to get 22 to 28 miles per gallon and just putt around, and it's clean. It smells good.
Off-road abilities. There's a lot there going for it.
I think probably when we went to Europe was probably the thing that had the biggest impact. My wife and my daughter and I were running around, and we had all these little 4-cylinder diesel engines.
Yeah.
And the power to weight ratio, the performance, the ease of driving, all that was just.
Oh, Europe's covered in diesels.
Diesels.
Yeah, there's a little bit of jealousy there. Australia's diesels. I went to Australia when I was younger. I'm kind of a fan of the country, and I spent some time looking at buildings and other things, but most of it was checking out
Vehicles.
all the cool Landcruisers, the Hiluxes,
Troopies.
everything had a turbo diesel in it. And I just remember thinking, why aren't we doing this? How is this technology so far from our grasp?
So advanced.
And now you've got it. You've got it.
Well, there weren't very many at the time when I started. There weren't very many that had done the Cummins yet, and I like unique. The Pinsgauer is kind of a testament to that.
Oh,
I like things that
yeah.
are less common. Not very many people have them.
Other negative elements here. I've heard people talk about it's just Chinese garbage. That's like it's
I've heard that a lot.
regurgitated. It's almost like it's just cut and pasted from the last dude that said it. Why would you put the Cummins Chinese garbage inside your Toyota Landcruiser?
Yeah.
Any feedback there?
Yeah, two things. First is, I work in high volume manufacturing. I've been going to China for at least 15 years. And the rate of change and the increase in quality from that point to today, it is staggering. It is mind-blowing, staggering how much they've improved in quality across the board. So just generally, I think there's something there that there's a legacy viewpoint that I think we're clinging on to that people have. That's
it's
kind
like
of an
Japanese
old view.
bearings. It's just for some reason you mentioned Japanese bearings and people are like, yes, those are the best. So,
And then the second is, it kind of goes back to that. When you work in manufacturing, when you first put a thing out, there's always some fine tuning, some tweaks. You learn as you kind of go what's not as good as it could have been, and you make changes. This engine has been used by Cummins internationally in their industrial vehicles all over the world.
So it's not a brand new.
It's not a brand new design.
Yeah, fresh off the line. It's been tested.
Tested, and parts, like I said, parts serviceability worldwide is phenomenal.
Yeah. Okay.
No, I'm a believer. We'll see. I mean, I'm on mile 1700 now.
I trust you. You just drove from Seattle yesterday.
Yeah.
In one drive. Shut up, Winnie, please. I can hear her yelling. They're intentionally doing that.
This is a Father of the Year moment, right?
There's several parts where I'm like, kids, please, for 5 seconds. There's an episode you can hear them screaming out the window just for fun.
Yes. Alex, come stand right here. Just above
No, I already
a tree.
Oh, hey.
Oh no, you'll be in the block. You'll be in the
Yeah.
Don't worry about
It's
it.
okay.
Not a big deal.
It's okay. It'll move soon.
I liked how you call her Axe. That's pretty cool.
Alex.
No, I thought you just said Axe.
No.
That's
No.
no, I thought you were. I thought it was
Does she
short.
look like an
I
axe?
know she said Alex, but I was like, Axe, come over here. I just thought that was kind of a cool term of endearment.
I don't think that's
I was way off on that.
Axe? Axe?
Battle axe.
Hey, old battle axe, come over here.
There you go. That's
Cover
okay.
up the
That's acceptable.
cover up the sunlight. We talked about the engine, drivetrain. Tell me about the interior. You've done a little something different as far as that goes.
Yeah, so I did some research on the different interior options, and what I like is the first generations of bucket seats. They had 3 small stripes and then a wider stripe, 3 small stripes. And I liked the way that interior style looked. So when I redid the interior, we had it recovered in King Ranch edition Ford leather seats. Have you ever been in a Ford
just
King Ranch?
below whale penis leather.
That's right.
Like just a small segment below.
Whale penis is very hard to come by.
They just started commercial
Which is
whaling
odd
again.
because whale genitalia is also huge.
That sentence is fraught with peril when you dissect it.
I'm gonna get a box of whale penis in the mail. Like, hey man, heard you're trying to get some whale penis. King Ranch.
Have you ever seen the inside of the Ford King Ranch edition? So I sourced the same leather and used that because I really like that distressed brown against the red. I think it just works really well.
Yeah.
And then I used that older style interior design. So I had the door panels recovered, the back recovered, the front seats recovered. All in
Stitching,
leather.
everything
We're working on the
looks
dashes in process, which is about half done.
Tell me about the dash.
Yeah,
Be
so
done differently.
as a nod to the Purists, I did hear you. I've been really careful to try to, one,
As I
keep the
stepped on
heritage
you.
as I crush your dreams.
Your original
I wanted to change the dash, but I didn't want to alter the dash. So we just Donovan cut a piece of aluminum, and when we figured out which holes we were going to use, there were some holes left over, like the choke and the cigarette lighter, and even the cigarette lighter tray, the ashtray. We got rid of all that stuff. So we
all
just
the stuff you don't use when it runs right. You don't need that anymore.
So we covered that up, but we didn't change the cord. The dash itself hasn't been cut or altered in any way. It's still original in behind.
Yeah.
And that allowed us to kind of make it look the way we wanted and clean it up without altering it. And then also, I took the side bib logo. Actually, I think it's the one that's on yours. And I cut the Toyota off and just kept the Landcruiser portion of that emblem from the side of the front hood there. And just use that word.
Sit down. You don't need
Just
to
use that word
I can't see it
Landcruiser
anyway.
on the dash.
I can't see it anyway.
So I used that on the dash. Just took that Landcruiser piece and put that on the dash, which turned out really nice. Give it a nice custom touch.
What
kind of
about the
title.
instrument cluster? Did you stick with stock there, or did you?
Yeah, so I wanted the Dakota Digital, but I didn't like the font that Dakota uses. So I went to Icon. Actually, works with Dakota to have a version done that uses the stock Toyota font or close to the stock Toyota font. So I ordered the Icon version and put that in. So you get the kind of, it has at first glance, you don't notice that it's been changed until you kind of start scrutinizing.
And your mirrors as well. You got
Also
from Icon too. Is there anything else that you got from Icon?
Yeah, so I haven't put them in yet, but I have the visors that they actually source out of Lear jets.
Oh gosh.
So they're flip down tinted. So actually, I'll send you my visors because they're almost brand new.
And you told me as you drove down here, I heard air conditioning and heated seats.
Heated seats.
Did you ever
air
think in a
conditioning.
million? What year is it again? 78.
22 miles to the gallon,
22.
80 miles an hour. So yeah, did I ruin it? No.
Air
No,
conditioning,
it did not
heated
ruin it.
seats.
It is. You could drive it all day, every day. Great gas mileage, great comfort.
Yeah.
It looks great. Yeah, I love it. I'm really happy with the way it turned out. Like I said, this is my third, and the first couple were really rough, really rough. The first one's the one that got away. PTO winch, all original, like that one.
Yeah.
I still regret ever selling that. And
I
sold
am
it way
right.
too
What
cheap.
year was it?
So that one was a 72.
Yeah, my first vehicle is a 72 FJ45. And
See, Iron Pig.
it being gone it's worse than
Your hair?
losing your wife
No.
in
I
a
don't
mall.
think that's
In like a mall parking
Oh, see, sorry, I learned to let you
for a half hour.
I gotta give you a breath longer.
Seriously.
I'm cutting you off before you
I
finish
say
the
a
sentence.
lot of
I
horrible
thought you were
stuff.
gonna say about losing your hair,
I've
like
had-
from teenage years. Like
That
that's the worst thing to
It
go.
was devastating.
We should
Talk
point
about
out I
that.
shaved my head just for this episode.
Yeah, I know.
Normally
He
I
actually
have
has a
long,
full head of
flowing blonde locks.
No, I had
of
a
hair.
72 FJ55. I had a 69 Ford Bronco.
Yeah.
I had a 72 International Scout.
We share similar affinity for car change.
I love.
My kids will tell you I change cars. Friends that I haven't seen in a long time, they'll typically ask, "What are you driving?" before asking how you're doing.
Kind of drives me
87
crazy.
Synchro van again. FZJ80 95 with 134,000 miles on it. Lockers.
That's a beauty.
Yeah. There's been a lot of great cars. I love cars, and apparently you do too. But you've done some extra special work here, Branden. Like your Landcruiser. I mean, hopefully this can help explain why you did what you did, but everything that came out of your Landcruiser, almost
Pretty much everything.
It's donated to you.
Pretty much everything is
is-
going into
is
yours.
going-
There's a pot. I brought a pot. My daughter and I were loading it up on
Yeah.
the way out. We could not fit any more things into
So
the back. We loaded it
everything-
top to bottom.
Everything that where people, all that criticism, you know, you're destroying a Land Cruiser, all it's doing,
Saving this one.
yeah, is saving mine. It's making mine that epic cruiser that I want, you know, and I want it to be with that stock Toyota engine in it. So,
I think that's the beauty of being an enthusiast is, you know, there's a lot of different interpretations of how to do a thing. And I love the community. Like, whenever I've run into questions,
gosh, yeah.
people who have, you know, all the purists and the non-purists alike, they will, you know, they understand and they know, and they'll tell you what bolt patterns and, you know, what adapters and all those things. And so it wouldn't have been, despite the purists, it wouldn't have been possible without the community.
not to mention, like, nothing dies in the Land Cruiser world. Nothing
No,
goes
it all
away.
gets
It all
recycled.
gets
I don't know. That engine you dropped is probably
that
dead.
engine.
That looks pretty dead.
Yeah, we actually. I've
It
filmed
ends
the
with
death
you.
of an engine.
Everything ends with you.
They should be more
Although-
mad at you than me. Why are you getting all this love and I'm getting
get
all
some-
this?
I did receive some negative feedback in my handling of that incident. But I've since. I'm not going to do that again, obviously. So.
Did the guy who owns the cherry picker see that episode?
That's my dad. So
That's
yeah,
your dad. Oh,
He probably didn't watch.
probably. Yeah, it's probably best.
All right,
Dad-
tell
Dad,
me.
don't
We
watch.
got a giveaway. Let's talk
Yes.
about that for 1 second.
Yeah, so so you mentioned my pin scour, so I use that for search and rescue. I do volunteer search and rescue work.
What's the Instagram for your pin scour?
My Instagram, my Facebook, and my YouTube is all the same. It's Sharp Pins. For search and rescue pin scour. So it's all the same.
Behold, you getting to read that?
Yeah.
Did you hear how I just barely got that sentence out? You getting to read of that?
Gosh.
Yeah, you're going downhill fast.
No, it's good. It's only getting better. All
But
right.
anyway, so one of the companies that kind of, I'm not really sponsored, but some people have been very generous. And one of the companies has been Sunflare Solar. They helped me get solar set up on my pin scour and my trailer. But they have this other company, Cole, that they do backup batteries. So it's got a high-speed port, but my favorite part, which is dumb, it's just a cable. But it actually has adapters for your iPhone, your Android phone,
I want
and
you
then
to
all
get in
modern
close on
phones.
Get in
Because
close.
this is very interesting. Most
Actually, no,
interesting part of the show.
Dude, that is for that'll charge my gimbal and it'll charge
everything.
the
all in one cable.
GoPro.
Yeah, so you can
And
one
the iPhone.
cable of everything, and then so there's a 12,
Sit back down, Rachel. Sit back down. Don't. I can see you're only on him. Am I in the picture?
You're in the picture.
Okay.
I just don't want to listen to you on principle.
There's not much room in the frame with all the ego.
She hits me. It might seem like I have the upper hand here. I don't have the upper hand.
I understand. 26 years I've been doing it. I understand entirely.
Tell me about.
So there's a 12,000 milliamp hour backup battery that we're gonna give one of those away, and then I brought a sticker pack just for fun.
Oh,
just
yeah.
'cause,
Stickers.
As grown men, we love stickers. It's a thing.
We do.
I don't know how to explain it, but we do.
We're gonna figure out a way to give these away. Last time I picked a random number. We'll get something going as far as.
So what I was thinking is that have them subscribe to your YouTube channel
Of
and
course.
subscribe to one of mine. Pick your choice: Instagram, Facebook,
One of
YouTube,
yours.
whichever you'd like.
Yeah.
But subscribe to both of us. We'll do a drawing. We'll give those away, and I may have some other stuff. Well, if I can throw some other stuff your way, then
What about if they just say it, subscribe, and say something in the comments?
sure.
Okay, so in the comments section, and I'll
It
put
can
this.
be hate. It can be
Yes.
purist hate.
It's
You want to
fine
spout
if
your
you wanna
purist
hate
hate
on
at
this.
us? By all means.
Yeah, hit it.
I feel
You
like
getting this, honey?
Yeah.
I feel like it's time to transition.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
that
think
seems like a
transitioning
transition.
has already started to happen. If you know what I'm saying.
Ben, thanks for having me. This is awesome.
And your first name is Ben, isn't it?
It is. Well, I go by Ben. It's Branden.
Yeah. Of course you do.
My first name is Branden. I go by Ben. Just
I've been calling him Ben. You've been correcting me.
no.
Yeah.
It's right.
I
Don't-
do a lot of that. Thank you for watching this special edition of Project Wrongway, where again we went deep inside Branden. It's Land
He
Cruiser.
goes by Ben.
We went by the guy that was sitting there as Land Cruiser, talked about that 2.8 liter Cummins diesel swap in detail. Please like, share, and subscribe. Please check out his channel as well on his Instagram, SARPins. We'll have some details in the comments below
For the giveaway.
for the giveaway. Thanks for watching.